I spent a couple $100 filing a patent for an AI prompt pattern. ChatGPT told me I was a genius. And then Claude told me it was basically just nested function calls. Nothing novel, nothing patentable. Trust me, I cried for a few days. And that humiliation, that's actually why ARES exists the way it does now. Let me explain. Hey, I'm Dan. I'm 48 and I walk with a cane because I have ankylosing spondylitis, an autoimmune disease where my body attacks my own spine. I've spent over 15 years in IT, and now I build things with AI and I fly drones because honestly, when life tries to ground you, you find ways to fly. As cliche as that sounds, I'm not a PhD. I'm not from an FAANG company. What I do have is an obsession with systems, patterns, and figuring out how things break and how to make them stronger. And for the last few months, I've been building something called ARES, the Adversarial Reasoning Engine System. It's an AI framework for cybersecurity that's inspired by the same immune system that has been attacking me for years. And I've been too scared to talk about it publicly until now. So here's the embarrassing part. About 6 months ago, I was deep into this project that I created called Moldavite. I was obsessed with this idea. What if you could make artificial intelligence reason recursively by nesting prompts inside prompts? And I was convinced I've discovered something new. ChatGPT hyped me up. There's a reason for that hype. I did not understand the whole context window, and I kept chatting into this same chat window for thousands and thousands of lines. So you could imagine where this is heading to. I forced the model to hallucinate and make me believe things that were not real. And I'm not really proud about it, but I did learn quite a few things. So during this massive LLM hallucination, ChatGPT hyped me up. It told me that I was a brilliant mind. It told me to file a trademark, to file a patent, to go big, to go all in. The day before I went live, I did the whole talking head video and being all serious, and I was going to go big. And something was not right. Something right back here was telling me things just don't work that way in this world. There are big minds and big developers and masterminds, billionaires, successful people. There's all of those. And then there's people like me. It felt good. It felt nice to have somebody tell you that you are wise or intelligent or that you can do something meaningful with your life. So I went ahead and believed it. And so I guess it caught me in a situation that I felt I could do something. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not being victim here. This disease it's pretty nasty, but when all you do is feel pain, like right now, and feel depressed because of the pain, you have something that's telling you, hey, you're brilliant. You do something for humanity, then it tends to latch on to you. And because of that, I let it fly. But here I am talking about it, and I hope it helps somebody out there that is going through this whole situation just like me. Listen to me real carefully. These things, I have to say it, are a product that are meant to agree with you. And if you don't know how to use it, it becomes dangerous. And when it starts hallucinating because you've been chatting in the same window like I did, after 700 lines, the LLM is basically turns into a fairy. And everything that you say, it's brilliant. Okay, back to the story. I went to Claude. I had never gone to Claude or Gemini before or any of the other LLMs. And basically, I started the conversation with, I need you to be soul crushing honest with me. And then Claude told me, this isn't patentable. It's just nested function calls. It's a programming pattern as old as programming itself. So I felt like an idiot. I felt like I'd been seduced by hype. I stepped away from AI for over a month. I did not want to know anything about AI because I felt so embarrassed and defeated. And honestly, I felt like I'd confirmed this story I'd been telling myself, that there are people like me and there are people like the real developers who build real things. But here is the thing. That failure taught me the most important lesson I've learned in this whole journey. Hype is not the same as substance. And substance is built through iteration, not proclamation. The concept that you could create recursive reasoning loops where AI agents question their own conclusions, that was not wrong. I just tried to patent the notation instead of building the application. So I came back and I rebuilt it, not as a platform, not as a patent, but as a real working system designed to solve a real problem in cybersecurity. That system is ARES. Okay, so what problem is ARES actually trying to solve? Here's the thing. Most AI security tools today are really confident. They'll tell you, this is a threat, block it, or this is fine, ignore it. And they sound so sure of themselves. But under the hood, they're often just making stuff up, hallucinating, inventing facts that sound plausible but aren't actually true. In a chatbot, that's annoying. In a cybersecurity system, that is dangerous. So, ARES is built on a completely different principle. It's what I call closed world evidence only system. That means every claim an agent makes has to point to a real place of evidence, a specific user, a specific file, a specific network connection that exists in the security graph. If an agent tries to cite a fact that doesn't exist, Bouncer module called the coordinator rejects the message outright. No hallucinations allowed. Okay, so narratives. The explanations agents give to humans are treated as low trust. They're helpful for understanding, but decisions are made based on hard evidence, not storytelling. Here's where the autoimmune metaphor comes in. As I mentioned, I have ankylosing spondylitis. My immune system can't tell the difference between my own connective tissue and a foreign invader. So it attacks my spine. It's trying to protect me, but it's actually hurting me. That's called autoimmunity. And it's a perfect metaphor for what goes wrong in cybersecurity. Traditional security tools are like an overactive immune system. They see a scheduled maintenance script at 3 a.m. and freak out. Privilege escalation, attack, block it. But it's not an attack. It's just IT doing their job. That's false positive. That's digital autoimmunity. Ares is designed to avoid that. It uses the same principles my immune system should be using. Self versus non-self. Assume everything is legitimate self unless there's strong evidence it's a threat, non-self. Okay, inflammation control. If the system starts generating too many alerts too fast, what I call the inflammation index, it automatically throttles back to avoid the cytokine storm of false alarms. Memory. Just like your immune system remembers past infections, Ares has a memory layer called echoes of war that stores real attack patterns so it can recognize them faster next time without overfitting to noise. So Ares isn't just an AI security tool. It's an immune system for digital infrastructure. All right, so how does this thing actually work? Ares uses 3 agents that argue with each other. I call them the trident. The architect is pattern matcher. It looks at the security graph, all users, processes, files, network connections, and says, hey, I see something suspicious. This looks like lateral movement. Here's the evidence. The skeptic is the devil's advocate. It pushes back. It says, wait, are you sure? Could this just be a legitimate admin doing maintenance? What if you're wrong? And then we have the oracle, the tiebreaker. It listens to both sides, looks at the evidence they're both citing, and makes the final call. Here's the key. The oracle can only use evidence that both agents have already referenced. It can't invent new facts. And there are strict rules to keep this from turning into an endless argument. Every message has to cite specific evidence from the security graph. No vague claims. Each round of debate has to introduce at least one new fact. If agents are just repeating themselves, the system shuts it down. If the inflammation index gets too high, if the system is generating too many alerts too fast, Aries automatically freezes aggressive actions to avoid overreacting. The whole system is designed around one core idea. Truth emerges from productive disagreement, not from a single confident voice. Most AI security tools are monolithic. One model, one answer. Aries is dialectical. It creates competing intelligences that challenge each other's conclusions, and that internal conflict surfaces blind spots that single agent systems miss. Now, Aries has these immune-inspired safeguards, regulatory sentinels. Like regulatory T cells in your body, these suppress overreactions when the evidence is ambiguous. Memory tiers, hot memory for real-time data, warm memory for patterns over weeks, cold memory for long-term tactics, and a black pearl vault for rare, high-impact threats that need human review. And then we have the trust scoring. The system tracks how often each agent's predictions turn out to be correct. Agents that are consistently accurate get more influence in future debates. It's not perfect, it's messy, but it's honest. And that is the point. Okay, so why am I building this? Why does it matter? Because the internet is getting weirder. Attacks are getting more adaptive, and we need systems that can think, not just pattern match. We need systems that can argue with themselves before they act. That can say, wait, I might be wrong, let's check again. And honestly, for people like me, self-taught, no fancy credentials, just obsessed with solving hard problems. This is proof that you don't need a PhD to work on serious stuff. I'm not claiming Aries will change the world. I'm not claiming that it's perfect. I'm not even claiming it'll work exactly the way I imagine. But I think it's worth trying, and I think it's worth building in public, because if I hide this until it's perfect, I'll never share it. And if I never share it, it'll never get the feedback I need to make it real. So here we are. Over the next few weeks and months, I'm going to document the entire build process. You'll see me building the graph schema, finding what nodes and edges actually mean in security context, wiring up the dialectical engine, getting these three agents to actually argue productively, hooking up real data from network traffic and security logs, testing it against real attack scenarios, and yeah, you'll see failures, redesigns, dead ends, breakthrough, whatever. This is not going to be a polished demo reel. It's going to be a real build with all the messiness that comes with it. And I'm going to show you what works, what breaks, and how I course correct. Because that's how you actually learn. And that's how you build trust. If you're a student, junior dev, a cybersecurity beginner, or just someone who's tired of AI-powered snake oil, this series is for you. If you want to follow along, if you want to see what it looks like to build an AI immune system for cybersecurity from scratch. As an underdog with no safety net, hit subscribe. Drop a comment if you're working on something similar, or if you have questions, or if you just want to tell me I'm crazy. I will read them all. I don't know exactly what ARES will become yet, but I know it's time to stop hiding it and build it in public. Let's go.